Hello guys, welcome back again to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Abimbola. So in today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to cut and sew a Bustier corset blouse. So this particular design was made using a Bustier pattern, also having a conical effect at the side of the blouse. So this corset blouse comes with different structures, that's boning structures going on underneath the blouse. So if this sounds like something you are interested in, do well to watch this tutorial to the very end. Also hit on the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel, like the video and share with your friends. Now let's get it right into today's tutorial. So here I have my pattern paper and my lines already marked out, and at the top of my pattern paper is my shoulder line, and then the chest line, the bust point, my under bust, half length for the front, and the hip line. So at the shoulder line, I'll go ahead and take my shoulder measurement divided by 2, and then I'll mark it on my shoulder line. I would also take the same measurement on my chest line, that's the shoulder divided by 2, and mark it. Now I connected both lines together, and for my front shoulder slope, I came down by 1.5. For the neck width and the neck depth, I'll be making use of the basic neckline. That's the 3 by 3 inches neckline measurement. Now I'll connect my shoulder slope to my neck width using a straight ruler. On my chest line, I'll go ahead and take my bust measurement divided by 4, and then I'll mark that. And for my armhole, I'll go ahead to also locate the midpoint of my line, and then at that point I'll go in by half an inch, and I'll be connecting the shoulder slope to the midpoint of the armhole and also to the bust measurement on the chest line. Now I will take my bust span measurement divided by 2 on my bust point, that is the nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 on the bust point, also on my half length and on the hip line. So I'll be connecting all the 3 points together with my straight ruler. Now for my underbust tightening, I would go ahead and take 0.75 inches on my center front part, that's on the left side of my pattern. I'll take 0.75, and on the other side I'll take 1.25. I will extend the same measurement to my hip line, that's 0.75, and my 1.25 mark will be extended to the hip line. I'll now go ahead to connect these 2 points together using my straight ruler. Now I'll connect my underbust tightening to my bust point. That's from the underbust, I'll connect it to my bust point on both sides. Now the next thing I will do is to get my overbust line, and from my chest line I went up by 2 inches and marked that point, which will be my overbust line. Now on my half length, I'll take my waist measurement divided by 4. But then remember that I said this blouse is a corset. So we have a lot of structure going inside of the blouse. And so because of this, we would actually be snatching our waist, because this is a corset blouse. And of course, that illusion needs to be visible along the waistline of our blouse. So you see me marking that point, and I went ahead to mark the point where we have 1 inch. The first part where I marked was our original waist, and then I deducted 1 inch out of the waistline. So I'm cleaning off the original waist, and I'm making use of the 1 inch which I deducted. So at this point, I already snatched out 1 inch from my waist, and then I went ahead to check the measurement of my dart intake, that's the underbust, and then I added it to the side of the blouse. I hope we understand this analysis. So in all, snatch your waist by at least 1 inch, and then connect from your half length back to your bust at the chest line. Now I'll go ahead to take my bust dart, and then for my bust dart, that is 2 inches mark, I came down from the bust point by 2 inches, and I'll be connecting it from my 2 inches to the nipple point on my pattern. Now on my hip line, I would take my hip measurement divided by 4, and whatever value I have as my dart intake on the hip line, I would also add it up to my hip measurement, and then I will mark it. So once that is done, I'll connect my waist to my hip using my curved ruler. So I connected the 2 points using a broken line because we will still be having an alteration on that side to create our conical effect. So at this point, I was trying to get the kind of curve that I wanted for the blouse. So I took my time to draw out my curve, to use my curved ruler to get the different shape. I kept placing it here and there to get the kind of effect which I wanted at the side of my conical blouse. So all you need to do is just to take your time, be patient with yourself, draw out your markings. If you are not satisfied with whatever you have marked out in the first instance, then make sure you try out other types of shape that you want. So just take your time. And at this point, I was placing my curved ruler here and there just to get the perfect curve which I wanted for the side of my conical blouse. So finally, I arrived at this shape and I am satisfied with the result. So I'll go ahead now to mark out this shape which I just drew, and I'll highlight it with my marker pen. Now the shape depends on the design you are working with. So whichever design you are working with, just make sure that your curve is looking exactly like the pattern or the design you are trying to recreate. So this is what I have at the end. And from my hip line, I had about 2 inches away from that curve. Yes, you can see me taking the measurement. I have about 2 inches away from my original hip measurement, which is fine. Now I'll go ahead now to work on the overbust part of our pattern. And at this point, I went ahead to take the bust span measurement divided by 2, which was marked initially on the bust point. I also took that same measurement on my overbust line, and I extended my line from the bust point to the overbust. Now for my overbust tightening, I went ahead to do my 0.75 on the right and on the left. And with this tightening, I'll go ahead to connect both sides to my bust point. For my sweetheart neckline shaping, from the overbust I came down by 1 inch. So this depends on you how revealing you want that part to be. I just want it moderate, and that's why I came down by 1 inch at the center front. So I'll be connecting it from my overbust into the neckline at the center front. The next thing I'll do now is to check if my dart legs are the same. That's though I so that I don't have any form of shortage on any dart leg. So I had just a little, and that is what I marked at that point. So I'll connect it back into my 1 inch at the center front. So I'm connecting now using my marker. For the neck part of this blouse, I'll go ahead now to mark 1 inch away from the basic neckline which we initially marked. So the basic neckline is 3 by 3, so I added extra 1 inch to make it 4 inches, and then from that point I went ahead to take the measurement down to my overbust. I had about 7.1, and then I divided that into 2 to get the midpoint of this measurement. Now, after getting the midpoint, I went ahead to check what I have as the shoulder measurement, and I think I had about 3.25. So what I did was to add extra 1 inch to my 3.25, which made it 4.25, and I marked it at that midpoint. And then from my 4.25, I connected it back to my overbust tightening like so. And then I also connected it from the midpoint back to my 1 inch for my neck width like so. Now I'll go ahead and extend my overbust line outward, and on that line remember that we did 0.75 on both sides for our overbust tightening, which makes it 1.5. So I'll be replacing my 0.75 on that. And once my overbust dart is replaced, I will then be connecting all the points together, that is from the chest line 5 into the bust measurements on the chest line and also to the shoulder. So what I did at the point when my device stopped recording was to connect the 0.75, which we actually marked on the overbust line, the extension. I connected it to the bust measurement on the chest line and also back to the shoulder slope. So I connected the 3 points like so. So whatever we took as the overbust tightening, we replaced it back at the side. That's half of it was replaced at the side. Now we want to draw out the M line. That's the shape we have at the M. We want to draw it out. So what we need to do is to place the center front pattern on the side front, ensuring that the horizontal lines matches up together. Now on my dart line, I came up by 1 inch. At that point, on my dart line, I came up by 1 inch. And with my curved ruler, I connected it back into the center front part. Now I will flip my curved ruler to the other side to create the shape we have on the hem of this blouse. So I placed my curved ruler like so, and then I connected it back into the side. So I tried to blend that part slightly with my curved ruler, and then I'll use my marker pen to trace out the shape. So all you need to do is just follow through the exact design you are trying to recreate. Ensure that you understand the design, and then you'll be able to recreate it. So I have this as my M line design, and then I'll go ahead to cut it out like so. So after cutting, this is what I have. We'll proceed to the back now. Now for the back, I have my lines marked out. I have my armhole drawn, and then my shoulder. And what I went ahead to do is to label my lines: the chest line, the back half length, and then the hip line. Now on the back half length, I went ahead to take my waist measurement divided by 4, and I also deducted the 1 inch for the waist snatching. So what I have there is my waist divided by 4 minus 1 inch. And then on the chest line, I took the bust measurement. On the hip line, I also went ahead to take the hip measurement. So I connected the waist, the snatched waist, which we took the measurement on the half length. I connected it back to the bust measurement on the chest line. Now for this back pattern, I won't be adding any dart, and that's the reason why you didn't see me telling you to add up your dart allowance. Is actually going to be dartless at the back. Now to create the conical effect at the side on my back pattern, I need to work with the side front pattern. So I went ahead to check the extension which I have added at the side, and then I also added it to the hip measurement on the back pattern. So here is me placing the side back and the side front together. So I matched up the side back and the side front together, and then I went ahead to trace out the exact shape which we have on the side front. I went ahead to trace out that shape on the side back. This will help your pattern match up together, and you will have a very nice conical side on your pattern. So I also traced out the M line. That's the shaping at the hem of the blouse. I traced it out to some point, not all the parts. I traced it out to some point, and then I stopped at that point. You see where I stopped here. So this is what we have for the back pattern. Now from that point where I stopped, I'll connect it back with my straight ruler to the center back. So I'll connect it like so to the center back. Now I want you to note that our center back, we have both the zipper and the inner lacing. So for the zipper part of the blouse, I went ahead to do my back tightening. That I took 0.5 inches at the half length at the center back, and then I connected it back to the hip like so. And also I'll be connecting it straight up to my neck region. Now for my shoulder, I'll go ahead to take the measurements what I have on my front shoulder, and then I'll place it right on my back shoulder like so, and then I'll mark it. So eventually we have the same 1 inch which was taken out from the front. We also have it left out on the back. So for my neck depth for the back, I came down by 1.5 inches, and then I'll connect the 2 points together like so. Now we are done with the zipper part of this blouse. So for the inner lacing, at the chest line at the center back, I came down by 1 inch, and at the side back I came down by half inch. So I'll be connecting my 1 inch to my ½ inch mark at the side back, like so. Now at the hem line of our back pattern, I'll go up by 1 inch. At the hem line, I'll go up by 1 inch. You can go up by 1 or 1.5 or 2 inches, it's fine. But here I went up by 1 inch, and then I'll be connecting it with my straight ruler to my side back, like so. Now on the new line that we drew, that's the 1 inch which we came down at the chest line, I'll go ahead and mark out my back opening. So from the center back I marked 2 inches, and also repeated the same thing at the hem, that's 2 inches on the hem line. This will serve as the back opening for our lacing bar. So I connected the 2 points together like so, and so I have the parts for the inner lacing already marked out. So I need to mark out this point so that you understand what we are doing here. So this will serve as the highlight stand, that's the highlight bar. So you can see me trying to draw or create our eyelets look there. So this part will be for the eyelets, and we'll also have this highlighted part which will serve as the inner lacing bar. So we have the part highlighted now, we have the inner lacing bar being highlighted now. So this is what we have for the zipper part of the blouse and for the inner lacing. So what I will do now is to trace out the inner lacing from the pattern. So I'll go ahead to trace that out. After tracing, this is what I have cut out for the inner lacing. You can see what it looks like when we place it inside of our corset blouse. So now go ahead to cut out the pattern for the back. So here are all my pattern piece, the back pattern, the inner lacing for the back. So here we have the front pattern piece also cut out already. So here I have all my patterns already transferred to fabric and seam allowances added. So for the sleeve, it's just a basic sleeve with about 1 to 1.5 inches extra added to the length. So let's assume your sleeve length is about 22 inches. You just add up about 1.5 inches to that length to make it a bit longer, that's beyond your wrist. So here I cut out the main fabric and also my lining for the corset. So I have both the back and the front pattern all cut out, and the seam allowance which I added to this was ½ inch all around. Just the zipper part add 1 inch. So thank you all for watching today's tutorial. I'll see you all in my next tutorial, which will be the sewing tutorial of this pattern we just drafted. Bye.